a couple of soft tissue issues that are coming up. Darian Wiley obviously still working back from the hamstring. He'll be questionable. He's still on a load management. I think other than that, Mo Hampton also recovering from a hamstring. Um, the rest of the guys, there's a couple of guys that have been able to work back that should be available, and then the long-term injury guys are the long-term injury guys. So that's kind of the latest on that. Um, Happy to open up for questions.
What's your plan for the Heat?
Well, we've been indoors the last 2 days, so we in preparation, obviously we had the 11 a.m. scrimmage to get in it, to feel it. On Sunday, we were in the stadium in the heat. That was our practice was at like 3 o'clock, so we got the full effect of Sunday's heat dome. And then being in it on Tuesday was kind of our last, chance to like experience it. That was 110 minutes. We've come inside the last 2 days as part of the heat plan. That's just to get total recovery with our body and to physically be feeling good. And then it's about the next 48 hours pushing hydration and getting them ready that way. On Saturday, we got to trust our training. So, we've pushed through a hard summer and a hard camp, and hopefully we got our bodies back. We feel good. The hotter it is, and the more we're impacted by it, the more people you got to play. And so, we have to be ready to put people in, insert people maybe early in the game to give them a chance to. Spell a one for a series just to make sure that we're ready in the fourth quarter. I don't expect that, but obviously we'll be ready for it if it happens.
Do you Are you gonna wear white, or is that even an option? I don't know how that works.
Yeah, we looked into it. What we weren't able to. There's rules around how the operation for that. So we'll have white cleats on, so our feet won't be melting to the turf. And we'll have white pants and a white helmet, but black jerseys.
Obviously, it's moved some things on the offensive line throughout the fall. Do you have a sense of how the continuity is at this point after kind of settling all that line?
Yeah, I think we're feeling good about having 7-8 guys that can contribute, and probably 7-8 guys that get snaps in the game. And we'd like to see that grow to 9, but right now, it's probably closer to 7. I think they've done a great job. Gelling together, and we'll feel like for that group to have a plan of a little bit of a rotation to keep some of the load off them through the course of the game will be important.
How long has that 7 kind of been set for?
Really coming out of the first scrimmage, we had an idea, and then obviously as we got through the second scrimmage, we solidified it. So those guys have played a lot together, and obviously we've had to push and pull just based off availability, but they've gotten plenty of snaps together.
They've got at least a couple of NFL guys on the defensive line, Eagles and Al Ryland. How do you guys try to contain them?
Yeah, I mean, as an offense, we're designed to try to eliminate like the need to win every one-on-one up front. I mean, there's a lot in the design of the system that's meant to take pressure off the matchups. But particularly when you have edge rushers that are like really skilled, you're going to have to find ways to account for them in protection, and whether that's chipping or keeping a tight end in. Like those will be things that we'll look at and we'll have in our plan. But yeah, I mean, there are certainly systematic things that we're doing, because this won't be the only time we play against a really skilled front. This is a really good defense we're playing. I mean, they play well in the secondary too. They're athletic at the second level, and that'll put some stress on our systems. But ultimately, as far as the front goes, we feel like part of our design is accounting for those matchups in the way we run our system. That's about as specific as I can get without going into the.
You mentioned on Tuesday that you're going to learn a lot about your team on Saturday. What areas specifically do you learn more, or can you not learn until you kind of play in a game setting?
Well, there's a lot of emotion around games. There's a lot of reaction. So we're going to have to react in all 3 phases to seeing an opposing offense, defense, and special teams that we've prepped for, but that's inevitably imperfect, right? They've had time to adjust and adapt to who they are, and so it's just your ability to see it in the moment, to adjust, and to communicate and get the players on the same page. The ability to mitigate the emotions on game day, like you have to have an edge when you play, but at the end of the day, the minute you spill out emotionally, you're offloading all the control you have to the opponent, right? So keeping it contained and making sure that we're playing with discipline, respect, and spirit for each other for 4 quarters, you learn that. And then I think too, like, look, we're going to be, our matchups will be stressed. So you're going to learn about, hey, the things that you perceive to be your strengths, can we cover, for 4 quarters, a skilled receiver group? Can we tackle for 4 quarters a physical running game? I'm excited for those challenges, but that'll be something that'll be revealed through the game, and all of that comes down to two. In a scrimmage setting, you call plays and it's less situationally based. As the game flow goes, if we have a lead early, if they have a lead early, the tactics change. So we're gonna get that physical run game for 4 quarters if we can't find a way to build a lead. Conversely, if they're playing from behind, we're going to see more of their throw game. So it's just, there are things that happen in a game that are different than happen in practice, and those are the things you learn as you kind of get that exposure for the first time.
So obviously, like last year, you weren't calling defensive plays, but how, especially for the opener, how involved were you in terms of coming up with the game plan? Whereas now, I assume it's obviously yours since you're the coordinator.
I was not involved. I would be like I would consult on certain things, but I didn't do anything with respect to. I let the staff, be the staff, and so I was way more able to see the 3 phases and spend time more broadly. This time around, I'm pretty narrowly focused on what I need to do for Saturday in my role.
What obviously like down and distance kind of affects it, but what range would you be comfortable with for Brock Taylor on field goals?
We've talked about 50 yards as the distance. I think he can go beyond 50, but it's just situational, like when you'd want to do that. But I think we're looking to get the ball to the 33 and let him put it up. He's done a nice job in camp. He's got a lot of confidence. He's got a big leg, I like to think that's because he trained hard in the offseason. He's got some biceps now, which is good. But 50 yards will be the line. I think he can go a little beyond that if we need him to. I won't be afraid to put him out there in a situation where we need it. Obviously, anything within that 50 range, we feel pretty strongly about.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thanks.